Hey, this is Cher, and I just want to make a short little video today because I'm expecting a friend over. And I had asked him to do the video with me, but he is a bit camera shy. So I thought I'd just take this opportunity to make him a little sample of cologne. This way, if he doesn't, if it's not his thing, it'll just be a sample. But I think he's gonna really like this, and what I'll do is I'll report back in the captions when I edit the video to see how he likes it. So he's a pretty mellow guy. So in my experience, he'll probably need something a little bit more peppy and awakening. And I know he loves, because he smelled it before, lime oil, but I've got even a higher grade lime than last time. So it's a steam distilled lime oil. This is going to be my top note. Now for my middle notes, I have basil, rosemary, and whole wood. So it'll give it like an herbaceous tone with a bit of wood in there. And then for the bottom note, I'm going to do the tiniest bit of oak moss, which has a very meditational quality, but it'll hold the lighter oils down. Now, I'm not sure how many drops this contains, so I'm going to sort of eyeball it. I'm going to assume, I'm going to say my drop count might be about 15. Maybe a little bit under, but I'll just, what I'm going to do is sort of eyeball as I go. So I figured I'd try 7 drops of middle note because that generally is at least 50% of the blend. So I'm going to start with 2 drops of the basil, 1, 2. Then I am going to do, let's say 2 drops of the whole wood. 1, 2. So now I'm at 4, and I'll just see 1 more of rosewood, and then I'll be at 5 drops. So this actually looks good because it's about a little less than 25%. So I'll be able to play with this a little. So since I did 5 drops of middle note, what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do 3 drops of top note because I know he likes the lime. So I'll do 1, 2, 3. So now we're at 8 drops and we're a little higher up. So now what I want to do is I want it to be even like less than a drop of oak moss because this is pretty deep. So I sort of emptied it out a little and then put in a little teeny drop of oak moss. Now I'm going to see how these all mix together, and I've got a little room for adjustment before I add the alcohol. Sometimes these bottles are a little bit hard to get snapped, but there you go. And while I'm shaking this, I want to tell you I'm going to be doing this at some corporate wellness fairs, creating little samples of either a perfume, cologne, or a pure essential oil blend that you could take home and mix into lotion or shampoo or bath salt. So if you're interested, if you have a lot of people who'd be interested in doing little samplers and you're in the greater Boston area, let me know and I'd be certainly happy to schedule something with you. So this should be a good amount of mixing. It actually smells really good, just as it is. It's a little heavy on the oak moss, so I think what I'm going to do, just, since we have a little extra room, I'm going to try 2 more of the whole wood. 1, 2, and then I'll see how that is. Just, there's a little, we've got, a few drops left to play with. So, yeah, I like to sort of perfect it. So even with a little bottle, you could use a good amount of oil, so you get a good amount of top note, middle note, bottom note ratio for a nice complex scent without having to make a ton of it. You know, if we were making giant bottles of stuff, we could, you know, use larger amounts. We could sometimes use very strong oils like Cade that would just like be fading into the background, like a drop or two in, you know, like a 2-ounce bottle or something like that. But this is a pretty simple blend. That smells pretty awesome. I'm gonna try one more drop of the lime because love the lime. And now we're about halfway through, so what I could do is fill, I just want to smell it just to get an idea, and then I'm going to just fill up the rest of the bottle with alcohol. So let me see how many drop counts I put in this for a perfume. It would be 4 hoe wood, 1 rosemary, 2 basil, that's 7. Then I had 4 lime, so that's 11, and 1 drop of the oak moss, so that's 12. So 12 drops of essential oil. That's really good to know for mixing in the future. And then I generally try and do about halfway. It doesn't have to be exact. And then I fill it with what I have is sugarcane alcohol, which is similar to grain alcohol, but made with sugarcane instead of grain. And then, you know, if you do this at home, you could use a grain alcohol or a high-proof vodka like Everclear. And see, you could do it with, I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 essential oils, so you don't need a generally large collection once you get a recipe you like. So I'm going to see how my friend likes this, but I am going to just do this tiny little bit on my own shoulder. And yeah, it's very fresh. The lime definitely jumps up first, which is good, but it definitely has. I'm going to do a little more just to get, yeah, that'll be good, just to see how it is. Yeah, and it's like, it's a little tricky to snap this back in, but it's doable. So, yeah, it's definitely fresh and limey. Like, it really toned down the oak moss, so the lighter things are jumping out. So it's sort of like the lime first, then the basil and rosemary, then the wood, and finally the oak moss. Sort of is what's happening in layers. But anyhow, I'll end this for today. I hope you learned something. If you want to schedule either a consultation or a class or a wellness fair with me, email Cher@khealing.com. You could go to my website, www.khealing.com, and find other ways to contact me and see what I do. But have a great day, everybody. Peace.